All right, Brother Kadash, want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Kadash. We're going to hop straight into it, right? This is Equifax. So I did another video that was talking about credit and the board of Experian. So now I got to do Equifax, and I got another one I'm going to come back with going into TransUnion. Now, this is important because I feel like you have to see the faces of those that's oppressing you. These is the people that is sitting in the background that a lot of us, especially in the Hebrew Israelite community, but I want to say so-called Black, Latina, and Native American community, we don't really see too much about these people and their faces. We don't know their faces. You could be in public and we don't even know their faces. We see who the president is, we see who a couple of governors is, and that's pretty much it. And then we blame everything on the government. But yeah, it do go back to the government. But even behind that, it's a shadow government. And then even behind that, Esau at the elites, we call them. At the top level. You see what I'm saying? So, but these companies too, which also works with the government, they have to work with the government, even though they are so-called private companies. But what is really a private company? Because any business you got, if you go start a business right now, you working with the government. 100%, because you're only allowed to do what you're doing based off certain licenses and permits and stuff like that, based on the government giving you that permission. And most of the time the government is getting a cut out of it. So they like to blame China and say, well, they own their major big companies is really owned by the government or ran by the government. But it's the same thing here in Mystery Babylon. They just like to do it in deception, right? So let's look at some of the faces on Equifax, right? So this is corporate leadership. This is who's running it. So just like we said in the last video, how they use one of the number one ways to oppress people is the Israelites is through credit. And they've been using this for years and years. It was built, the origins of this, going back to the slave masters and the plantations, is built off complete racism. So really, the only way for you to change, you have to get rid of the whole system. But they ain't doing that no time soon. They have the MOTB, which we know is the chip, that's coming soon. And I personally believe that the credit unions are going to be a very, very, very big part of this whole digital currency and the chip, the MOTB. They're going to play a big part in this, right? So right here, we got the chief executive officer, Mark W. Bagur, Chanel Bedal, right? Looks like Indian in India. Trevor Burns, completely Edomite. Carla Chani, Jamil Forshi, John W. Gamble Jr., right? We got Todd, and then the list go on. I ain't gonna say Julia, John, Bryson, Joy, there go Moab or Amon, Cecilia, Lisa, Ruby, Rudy, Hurt. So this is the couple faces they got up here. So I want you to notice something. I want you to notice something missing, right? So you don't see anybody up here that looks like me, a so-called black man, let alone a young black man on this list at all. You see what I'm saying? You see a black woman, she'd be on here before a black man to be on here for sure. But you don't see nobody. But these are the people that's impacting your life. That's something that's so very important in your life, like credit, that makes the difference. This credit can make the difference between you getting rich or you living a poor life very easily, because a lot of businesses that you want to start, you're going to run into something dealing with credit. You know what I mean? And a lot of people that made millions, if not billions of dollars, they didn't make that by just taking their own money and building up little by little and flipping it and flipping it and flipping it, whatever business. And so they made it by using banks, credit. If you want to sell cars at some type of point, for you to reach a certain success level, you got to use banks, and they gonna look at your credit. If you want to sell homes at some type of point, especially selling homes, you got to use banks, and they gonna look at your credit. Whatever you really want to do, you want a business loan, they gonna look at your credit. So credit is so very important. And then, like, even if you want to buy a house, the difference in mortgage that you're going to pay is so drastically different from 3% interest rate, which is based off your credit, to a 25% interest rate. We talking about thousands of dollars different monthly payment. So this is what helped people get by, because if I'm like, historically, if you are a white male or white woman and you go into a bank with the same credit score as a so-called black person with similar credit history, right? Um, let's just say they give the white male a 5% interest rate on a $200,000 house. Now he's looking at paying 1,300 a month, 1,400 a month. But let's just say you go in there and you got similar credit, right? But for some reason they choose to give you a 15% interest rate. Now you paying 2,700 a month while he's paying 1,300 a month. This is a difference of 1,400. Of course he's going to have a better advantage in life, because your home is one of your most important bills and one of your biggest bills. You see what I'm saying? So you got similar credit, but they may even give him the house where he could build generational wealth, because property goes up and then he can make some money off of it if he sells it 20 years, 15 years down the road. And they may even deny you and just look for any reason to deny you. So this type of practice has been going on, and they're guilty of this type of practice for years, hundreds of years, man. So when we talk about reparations, we not just talking about reparations for what happened in slavery. There needs to be reparations for all the prejudice and racism that's been going on for hundreds of years, and these companies need to be held accountable too. But of course, this is the management, and I just went through just a couple faces, but with me going through the couple faces, I'm pretty sure there's other people too. This is what we get, you know what I mean, and this is who's on this list. So that's the management. This is the board of directors. So we got Mark, he's still on there. Mark, he's still on there. Karen, of course. Thomas, Robert, Scott, and then John, and then Melissa, and then finally we get to a sister, Audrey, right? So then we get to Heather, right? So yeah, that's why. Remember, I said the black woman be on here before the black man. So yeah, we got one black sister on here, but look at all the people I just went through when we talk about management and board directors, and we got one black sister. So do you really think she got any real pull? Do she really got any real pull? Not really, you know what I mean? She plays her job, she plays a face, but she's outnumbered. So if anything needs to be voted on, or if they don't like anything that she does, they could go over her and do what they want to do. So just like with the army, you will see Jake, you will see Israelites in the army, but you don't see us dominating. You don't see majority of the people on here so-called black men and black women. You don't see out of, let's see, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 people. Then let's go back to the management. I think he's on here twice, right? So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So let's just say 25 people, right? You got one sister in there. Out of 25, 1 out of 10, that's 10%. 1 out of 20, that's 5%. So we looking at less than 5%. We looking at like 3%. We make up 3% of the board of directors in the management of this company that's so very important in many of our lives. We make up 3% of it. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy, you know what I mean? And it don't matter what state you go to, these people impact your life, man. For sure. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, So I'm gonna read this precept. I might have read it in the last video, but it's important. So we're gonna keep going over and over again. Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it should come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, thou will break his yoke from off thy neck. This is having a yoke on your neck, man. But now it's not a physical yoke, right? Even though that happened to us too. But now it's like more of a spiritual yoke, or like a society yoke on your neck, a visible yoke you can't even see. You don't even know that it's on you. We got some of our people out here walking around talking about they free. How? You got to get permission from the people that had you in slavery to do anything and everything in the society. You want to drive, you got to get permission from the people that had you in slavery. You see what I'm saying? And then like the credit, this is a yoke around your neck, man. This shit could keep you down. This shit could destroy you. Destroy your credit. You could destroy your life, man. Unless you just hit the lottery and then you don't need credit no more. But most of us do. How many times we always be like, we don't need credit. Fuck credit. I don't need credit. And then you like a car or you like a house and you go try to get it and you get denied. And then you like, damn, this could have been a good opportunity for me. And you got denied. And then if you think that's something, wait till the MOTB come and what they gonna use this credit in the MOTB together for. And then you really gonna have a hard time with life. Look at the systems that's going on in China, right? It says, so I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds, right? These are different bonds, man, but they not physical no more. It says the stranger should no more serve themselves of him. This is serving themselves of us, man. Because if I got the same credit score as a so-called white man, he goes into a bank and get a 5%, and you give me a 15%, and we got similar credit history. You serving yourself of me, man, because you're putting a higher interest rate on me because you're going to charge me more and make more money off me, compared to your own people, another white man or an Edomite. You're going to let him get by in life, but with me, you're going to make it hard for me, and it's harder every step of the way, So this has just been a quick video. I'm going to come back with TransUnion. With that, I'm going to say salvation to the elect. Shalom.